Emotional intelligence is defined as the ability to understand. Some people do get confused between intelligent question and emotional question. IQ and EQ, they are both the measures of human intelligence. Emotional intelligence, which involves the ability to recognize. If you have IQ, you don't have EQ, but you need to draw a line or draw a boundary between self-confidence and overconfidence.
Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to everyone gathered here today. We are honored to have our distinguished guest with us, Timcy Bansal, a computer science engineer turned technology talent acquisition specialist. Miss Timcy is a highly driven and agile recruitment professional. With over 9 years of experience, her wealth of knowledge and experience is sure to make today's lecture both insightful and educational. Now I'd like to call Proksh Dada to honor our distinguished guest. Without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Timcy ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Where is the energy, guys? It's Tuesday and it's morning. Haven't slept though. Okay, great. So I'll quickly introduce myself. I graduated in 2014 as a computer science engineer. I got placed in a software engineering firm as a software developer. But then I wanted to do something different apart from coding because during my tenure, we had developed around 40 academic projects on coding and software development. So that is when I wanted to do something creative and also use the same technical skills that I learned throughout my curriculum. So I went into recruitment for hiring software developers, program managers, product managers, and so on. So I have been working into global recruitment for the past 10 years. I specialize into hiring for US, Canada, APAC, and Indian market. So I worked with various brands, various Fortune 500 companies. And then about 3 years back, I moved to Spinny, which is a used cars buy and sell platform. I'm not sure if anybody would have heard of Spinny. You have heard of it. That's great. So I joined them when we were just a team of around 50 people. Worked there, grew the teams, whether it was technology, product, or marketing. Post Spinny, I joined Exly. Exly is a B2B software as a service platform which helps in providing courses to different trainers and platforms. It's a one-stop solution. And post Exly, I felt, working into different startups for some years that I should be working on something on my own. I always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me. So I started looking out for ideas to work on, wherein I can work with more people, work with teams. And that is what I'm currently working on. So here, then Mohit reached out to me if I can, come to you and share something out of my experience or my learnings. So that is when I thought of, there was a skill of emotional intelligence that was not taught to us during our learning years. But then I felt this is very, very important for people to work together in the corporate environment, in the companies, when you have to be a team player, you have to be on a leadership role. So we'll be sharing some knowledge about the emotional intelligence today. So somebody was telling us about emotional intelligence. Can you please repeat that? You were telling us about emotional intelligence. Can you please share your thoughts again?
I was saying that I think the emotional intelligence means keeping the emotional parameters in mind while taking a decision.
Right. And so how do we do that? How do you think we would be able to cover our build emotional intelligence, or how do you think it is different from IQ part?
For thinking deeply about the stakeholders involved in the outcome of the decision.
Okay, great. So if I have to put it in a way, like what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is defined as the ability to understand and manage your emotions as well as recognize and influence the emotions of those around you. It is involves a set of skills which will help you with different social interactions, manage stress, empathize with others, and communicate more assertively and in making more sound decisions. This term was first coined in 1990 by researchers John Mayer and Peter Solvay. However, this was later popularized by psychologist David Goleman. So, David Goleman was a person who said the most effective leaders are alike in one crucial way. They all have a high degree of what has come to be known as emotional intelligence. It is not that IQ does not matter or the technical skills don't matter. They do matter. They can help you land up a job. But to survive in that organization or to build your way through that organization, you would need emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence covers different components like executive competences, interpersonal communication, relationship management, social intelligence, leadership development, and helping others manage their emotions. Now, some people do get confused between IQ versus intelligent question and emotional question. People say, okay, this person or had this level of IQ, or this person had this. So when he can crack into this company, or he does, this person has these technical skills to crack into this company. Why can't I? Why am I not able to grow into this role when this person can? So that is where the difference lies. IQ and EQ, they are both the measures of human intelligence, but they focus on different aspects of intelligence. If we talk about IQ primarily measures cognitive abilities such as logical reasoning, problem solving skills, memory, and linguistic abilities. It can be often assessed through standardized tests like Washler Adult Intelligence Scale or Stanford Bennett Intelligence Studies, which you can go online, search up on Google, and you can have your IQ scores with you. IQ scores are used to predict academic and intellectual abilities and are often associated with success in academic and technical fields. Whereas, on the other hand, if we talk about EQ measures emotional intelligence, which involves the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and express emotions effectively, as well as the ability to recognize and respond to others' emotions. It includes skills such as self awareness, self management or self regulation, empathy, and social skills. It is not typically measured by any test. Each company, while you appear for the interviews, they may have level one of screening where they might ask you to define certain skills about yourself. How good of a team player are you, or how do you respond to different situations? How do you react in stress? How do you manage your stress? So there can be different parameters or tests that companies can ask you to go through, and this is how they will measure your EQ. And EQ is generally associated with success in interpersonal relationships, leadership, communication, and overall well-being. So while IQ and EQ are separate skills, research has shown that they are both important for overall success and well-being. If you have IQ, you don't have EQ. You can obviously have an entry level role there, be there stagnant throughout the journey in the company, but not grow through the executive positions. On the other hand, if you only have EQ and no technical skills, obviously you'll not be able to crack the level one of the interviews. So IQ and EQ, they complement each other with each contributing in different strengths to an individual's abilities. For example, high IQ may help in academic or technical domains, while high EQ may be more beneficial in interpersonal or leadership roles. Ultimately, individuals with a balance of both cognitive as well as emotional intelligence tend to fare best in various aspects of life. Now let's talk about different attributes that form EQ. So there can be there under personal competence we see self-awareness and self-management, and in social competence we would see social awareness and relationship management. So let's see what self-awareness would be. Anybody has questions up to now? Any questions? Yeah.
सक्सेस के लिए आईक्यू जरूरी है, फिर ईक्यू क्यों करना है?
Like I said, IQ can help you crack the interview. Let's say you are going to for a software developer role. Okay, so you can be there on the system coding. Like you can crack that interview, you can code all day. But what if there is a teammate who wants your help in navigating through a problem, or he would want, hey, can you come and help me through this problem? How would you handle that situation? Let's say you have a tight deadline that you have to meet, but then the other person also needs your help. So how would you handle that situation? Or if you have to be a manager 3 years, 4 years down the line, you would be managing a team there. So to handle that stress, how to evaluate everyone's performance, how to take the team together, because that is what builds a company then ultimately. So that is when EQ comes into the picture. So then IQ and EQ both would be defining your career. I hope that you got that right. So if we talk about self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand one's own emotions, strengths, weaknesses, values, and motivations. Self-awareness is the core of everything. It is not only your ability to understand your strengths and weaknesses, but to recognize your emotions and their effect on your team's performance. Like I said, to measure the strengths and weaknesses of your team partners, and yourself, how your thinking or your logical reasoning then can affect your team overall. To bring out the best in others, you first need to bring out the best in yourself, which is where self-awareness comes into play. So how can self-awareness, how can you measure self-awareness in day-to-day routine? This is by completing a 360-degree feedback. You may go to your peers and teammates, ask them questions, or ask them to evaluate you, or how good of a team player have you been. So these things can be covered by self-awareness. So if we go into self-management would be the ability to manage and regulate our own emotions, impulses, and behaviors in different situations. This involves being able to control impulses, manage stress, adapt to change, and maintain a positive outlook. There can be at times when maybe it's a Friday and you have some work on Saturday and Sunday, but then your manager might come across, not always for sure, that I need this help because the client has to have this delivery or this product needs to go live. So how do you handle that stress? How do you avoid giving out knee-jerk reactions is what is self-management. Self-management refers to the ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations, and maintain a positive outlook despite setbacks. Leaders who lack self-management tend to react and have a harder time keeping their impulses in check. So the next skill would be for social competence, social awareness. It is the ability to recognize and understand the emotions and needs of others, as well as to empathize with perspectives and experiences. This involves being able to pick up on social cues, understand group dynamics, and show empathy and compassion towards others. Again, an example in a routine life, I would like to say, like I just said, maybe a teammate can come across to you and ask for help. That if you can, help them, they might have a certain medical emergency or home, and the project needs to go live, or you are meeting on deadlines, but then you do have your own work. So social awareness, you need to take cues from other teammates. They may not say things directly to you, but you need to read between the lines and help the team grow. While it is important to understand and manage your own emotions, you also need to know how to read a room. Social awareness describes your ability to recognize others' emotions and dynamics in play within your organization. So as per a global leadership firm, DDI, they have ranked empathy as a number one leadership skill, reporting that leaders who master empathy perform more than 40% higher in coaching, engaging others, and decision making. By communicating with empathy, you can better support your team, all while improving your individual performance. The fourth attribute to EQ would be relationship management, the ability to build and maintain healthy relationships and communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, and collaborate with others. Some people tend to avoid conflicts, but it is important to properly address issues such as they arise. Research shows that unaddressed conflict can waste about 8 hours of company time, because if there is an issue within a team, people would just be gossiping around and not being focused on their work. So that would obviously lead to wastage of time and resources for the company. Now, if we have to dig deeper into the different attributes of EQ that we discussed, what is self-awareness, what is social awareness, the relationship management, and self-management, how are they actually formed? So, emotional awareness is recognizing one's own emotions and their effects. Accurate self assessment would be knowing one's strengths and limits. Self confidence would be a strong sense of oneself and of worth and capacities. Some people tend to have we can say ego. They say I know this thing, or maybe are overconfident that I know I can do this, I don't need your help. But you need to draw a line or draw a boundary between self-confidence and overconfidence, because with self-confidence you will be able to deliver projects excellently, grow in your career, excel in life. But with overconfident, when you know what overconfidence does to you, it will break the barrier. It will draw a barrier between you and the other person, because you wouldn't be taking any criticism, learning any feedbacks from them, and it would lead to a downfall there. Then, if we talk about social awareness, it is understanding others, or being empathetic with them, sensing others' feelings and perspectives, and taking an interest in their concerns. Developing others, this would be sensing others' developmental needs, encouraging their abilities. Service orientation would be anticipating, recognizing, and meeting customers' needs. Leveraging diversity, this would be cultivating opportunities through different kinds of people. Organizational awareness, reading a group's emotional currents and power relationships. Next would be self-management, self-control. Like the word say, keeping destructive emotions and impulses in check. Trustworthiness would be making standards of honesty and integrity, whether in life, personal or professional. Conscientiousness, taking responsibility for personal performance and not take someone else under the bus. Adaptability would be flexibility in handling the changes. Adaptability comes a lot into picture when you're working with startups. They are a very agile environment. There are changes every day. You would see there would be pivots done every day, because it would be changing as per the customer's needs and their demands. Innovation, this would be initiative, being comfortable with novel ideas, approaches, and new information. Relationship management, the first one is communication. It is listening openly and sending convincing messages. Conflict management would be negotiating and resolving disagreements. Change catalyst would be initiating or managing change. Building boards, nurturing relationships, collaboration, and cooperation. Working with others towards the shared goals. Team capabilities would be creating group synergies and pursuing the goals together. Influence would be building effective tactics for persuasion. Leadership, inspiring and guiding groups and individuals, developing others through teamwork and collaboration. Any questions until now? Yep,
So, can we go to the previous slide?
of course.
So, in self-regulation, in regulation, self-management.
Okay.
I think I wanted to ask, like, we could put self-management in social competence, but recognition, because when we share about ourselves, when we introduce ourselves, there's this thing we call first impression. The first impression is based on how you are represented in front of others, how they
Right.
perceive you.
Right.
So they see your self management. So can't we say that the regulation, like recognition of our self management, will also be a social competence?
No. So it is personal competence. It is like you said. It is the first thing that you yourself need to be aware of, and then you can put yourself in other shoes and or represent yourself in front of other people. So only once you have done your self work, you would be going out to other people, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's what I'm saying.
Huh.
Like, we have worked on ourselves. When we're introducing ourselves to others,
So that would be personal competence.
no, it will be in social competence, no, because we're introducing ourselves socially with other people.
No.
Right.
Personal competence, like first work that we have done is knowing ourselves personally, that this is where I stand, this is my emotional health or mental health, these are my skills. So the first thing that you would be doing is on a personal level, and then you would be socializing, right? It won't be like you don't like I wouldn't know myself and then I would ask the other person to tell me who I am. The first work has to be done by me. Like I should know who I am. The other person would later tell me or give me a feedback that who I am. Okay? I hope that helped.
Yes.
Uh, so yeah. Now we move on to the next topic, that why do you need emotional intelligence? Why is it required throughout your life, whether be it personal, professional? So the technical skills that helped secure your first promotion might not guarantee your next. If you aspire to be in a leadership role, there's an emotional element you must consider. It's what helps you successfully coach teams, manage stress, deliver feedback, and collaborate with others. I guess I answered your question here again. It's called emotional intelligence, and it is one of the most sought after interpersonal skills in the workplace. Over the years, emotional intelligence or EQ has evolved into a must have skill. Emotional intelligence is the strongest predictor of performance. Employees have high emotional intelligence are more likely to stay calm under pressure, resolve conflict effectively, and respond to co-workers with empathy. I like to give example here from my day-to-day routine life, wherein we used to be hiring people on leadership roles. So we used to come across candidates who used to have great IQ, great technical skills, great experience, wherein they would have had greater achievements on those roles previously. But then during our interviews or the interactions that we had, we felt they would not be a cultural fit for the company, or they would not be able to work with the teams that we have or the environment that we have created. So that used to be a hard no-go for us, for those candidates, even though they had great IQ. But EQ is what we were looking for then. So if this person or someone has good EQ and some skills for the IQ part or technical skills, because technical skills can always be learned. They can always, you can go through some courses, you can go through some certificates and always have technical skills ready for the go. But EQ is something that you practice and inculcate throughout the years of your life. So over the years, emotional intelligence also is emotional intelligence is strongest predictor of performance. Employees with high emotional intelligence are more likely to stay calm under pressure, resolve conflict effectively, and respond to co-workers with empathy. So how emotional intelligence can make leaders more effective? Leaders, they set the tone of their organization. They build the culture, they build the teams. So if they lack emotional intelligence, it could have more far-reaching consequences, resulting in lower employee engagement and high turnover rate. While someone might excel at their job technically, if you can't effectively communicate with your team or collaborate with others, those technical skills will get overlooked. By mastering emotional intelligence, you can continue to advance your career and organization. So, what can be the impacts and success for EQ? So, EQ would help you with improved relationships, effective leadership, enhanced decision making, stress management, improved mental health, career success. And if we have to look through different points or success stories for Yeah, so how EQ would help you with improving relationships. Individuals with high EQ tend to have stronger and healthier relationships. They are better at understanding the emotions, perspectives of others, communicating effectively, resolving conflicts, and building trust and rapport. This ability to connect with others fosters better personal and professional relationships, leading to greater cooperation, collaboration, and support. The second part, effective leadership, how EQ would help you in being a good leader. EQ is closely linked to having a connection with being a strong leaders. Leaders with high EQ are better able to inspire and motivate their teams, understand their team members' needs and concerns, provide constructive feedback, and manage conflicts. EQ would also help you with enhanced decision making. Emotional intelligence enables individuals to make better decisions both personally and professionally. By understanding their own emotions and motivations as well as those of others, individuals can make more informed choices. They can obviously evaluate risk, consider multiple perspectives, and weigh the emotional implications of the decisions, leading to more thoughtful and effective outcomes, which is true both in your personal again as well as your professional, whether it be your personal relationships with your friends, your partner, or your family, as or your important decisions, whether they are related to your work with your managers, your peers, your team, or anybody else. The second part, the next benefit or where EQ helps would be stress management. High EQ individuals are better equipped to manage stress and cope with adversity. They are more resilient in the face of challenges and able to stay calm under pressure and maintain a positive outlook. This resilience under stress management is what helps them bounce back from setbacks more quickly, maintain focus and productivity in demanding situations. If you are an emotionally intelligent person, you can also have a very better or an improved mental health. AI is associated with better mental health outcomes. Individuals with high EQ are more self aware and able to recognize address their emotions and mental health needs. They are less likely to experience symptoms of depression, anxiety, or other mental health disorders and are more likely to have higher levels of overall well being and life satisfaction. I would see people these days, they're more on their screens, their phones, their laptops, the iPads. We are navigating through a digital life, and this can lead to depression or anxiety. Okay, this is a clickbait that is happening, or this is a video that has come up, this article has come up. What is happening? So, if you have a better emotional intelligence to go through and process the information, so you can have a better mental health there. Obviously, emotional intelligence will help you with career success. EQ is increasingly recognized as a key factor in career success. And in addition to technical skills and qualifications, employers value candidates who possess strong interpersonal skills or people skills, empathy, and emotional resilience. Individuals with high EQ are better able to navigate workplace dynamics, communicate effectively, build the networks within and outside their organization, and adapt to changing circumstances, which leads to greater job satisfaction and advancement opportunities. So, if I have to ask you guys, once you join any corporate or you join some company, what do you think would be some job satisfaction, or you will be like, okay, this company I have joined, I'll be happy here, I'll be spending the next 3 to 4 years of my life there. Would anybody want to answer that question? Anybody? What would be job satisfaction to you? Yeah.
Maybe the stages that they offer, like what we are applying for. We personally, I'm from B design, so
Okay.
I'll personally be looking into designing, right?
Yep.
So the companies that I'll be applying to, would should have, according to me, should have the like the stages for us. Like
Right.
there's a stage for designers, like a
Right.
beginner, then a secondary, and maybe the higher levels.
You're right.
How we work through ourselves through those stages is what I want from a company if I want to join.
Right.
Personally, I would like to be a freelancer, but before that, I would have to take some
Right.
experience, right?
Right.
So in a company, I would really expect like how they want us to learn more than we
Right.
already have.
Learnings are
Yes,
important.
exactly.
Right.
So they like extra educational or extra professional things
Right.
that they'll be offering
Right.
apart from the job is
Right.
what I'll be looking in the
Great.
personally I'll be looking.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yes.
My job satisfaction will depend on the amount of money I will pay.
Okay. Let's say you join Google at 25 lakhs. That is your starting salary, and then Meta comes to you 6 months down the line at 30 lakhs. Would you join that?
Yes.
And okay, and then 6 months down the line, there is another company that offers you 35 lakhs.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not a practical scenario when you switch companies, because the recruiters would be going through your profile and they'll just consider you a job hopper, and then none of the companies would be willing to hire you.
Not 6 months, I will stay for work here to get some ESOPs released, then I will see.
Google does not offer ESOPs.
Meta does.
Meta does offer ESOPs? Okay. Okay. I didn't know that Meta offers ESOPs. Is it ESOPs or shares they offer? Yeah, so there is a difference between the ESOPs and share part. Someone else raise a hand? Yeah.
Frequent upgradations in my role, in my position, in my skills.
Right.
That is what I call for job satisfaction.
How about your dynamics with your team manager or your boss?
What, ma'am?
How about would your dynamics with your manager come into picture then for your job satisfaction?
Basically, if my manager allows me for a continuous or a spontaneous upgradation,
Right.
so that will be a good dynamic.
Yes, yes, of course. What I meant to say was, like he said, the money would only be a part he would be focusing in. What if the manager is not good? What if your team is not good? Would you be able to perform in that environment where you would be under stress? You'll not be able to learning new things. Great. So the next topic would be, how do we identify lack of emotional intelligence in people? So identifying a lack of EQ in oneself or others involves recognizing a certain patterns of behaviors and characteristics that may indicate deficiency in understanding and managing emotions. The different pointers here can be difficulty in recognizing emotions, lack of leadership, poor self-awareness, impulsive behavior or knee-jerk reactions, difficulty in managing stress, poor interpersonal relationships, lack of empathy, difficulty in resolving conflicts within the team and outside the team, blaming others or putting other people down under the bus, resistance to change or limited emotional expression. So, if we have to look deeper into all these deficiencies that show us how someone would be lacking in emotional intelligence. So, difficulty in recognizing emotions. People with low EQ may struggle to identify and label their own emotions accurately. They might have difficulty understanding what they are feeling or what they are feeling in a certain way. Poor self-awareness. Lack of self-awareness is a common indicator of lower EQ. Individuals may not have a clear understanding of their strengths, weaknesses, their own vision and their goals in life. They may also struggle to recognize how their emotions and behaviors impact themselves and others. Impulsive behavior. A lack of EQ can lead to impulsive behavior or knee-jerk reactions. Individuals with they may act impulsively or not considering the consequences of their actions. Let's say your teammate or your friend or your manager comes down to you, like I was quoting earlier, and requesting for some work. You may say, "Oh no, I don't want to do this." But that's not how we respond in a corporate way, or because that would come as a strong blockade for the manager to communicate to you. So the managers, they may have difficulty controlling. So if you have difficulty controlling your impulses and emotions in challenging situations, they will have consequences in your life and the actions therefore. So difficulty in managing stress. Low EQ individuals may struggle to cope with stress and adversity. They may easily become overwhelmed by pressure and have difficulty staying calm and focused under stress. This can lead to emotional outbursts, withdrawal, or avoidance behavior. Poor interpersonal relationships or relationships within your team, outside the team, relationships with your friends. People with low EQ often have difficulty forming and maintaining healthy relationships. They may struggle with empathy and understanding others' perspectives, leading to conflicts, misunderstandings, and difficulties in communication. Lack of empathy. Can someone tell me the difference between empathy and sympathy? Yeah.
Empathy is going into the shoes of the other person and understanding what
Right.
the person is going through.
Right.
Sympathy is the external giving he is going through.
Yeah, I understand what is happening in your life. Okay. Yep, right. So, for lack of empathy, empathy is a key component of emotional intelligence. Individuals with low EQ may have difficulty empathizing with others and understanding their emotions and experiences. They may come across as insensitive or indifferent to others' feelings and needs, like, okay, this does not concern me, so I'll not be thinking over it. Difficulty in resolving conflicts. Low EQ individuals may struggle to navigate conflicts and disagreements effectively. They may escalate conflicts due to poor communication skills or inability to see beyond their own perspective. Blaming others. Individuals with low EQ again may have a tendency to blame others for their own problems or mistakes. Like if your performance is down, they may say, okay, this person was disturbing me, or this person did not complete their task, so that is why my performance is down. So when you blame other people, or you tend to put other people under the bus in front of others, so that is when one can understand that this person lacks EQ in their life. So they may struggle to take responsibility for their actions, and they usually find it difficult to learn from feedback or criticism. Now, resistance to change can be another factor here, wherein low EQ individuals may have difficulty adapting to changing and new situations. They may resist change due to fear of the unknown or discomfort with uncertainty. Limited emotional expression. People with low EQ may have difficulty expressing their emotions openly and appropriately. They may suppress their emotions or have a limited emotional range, making it challenging for them to connect with others on an emotional level. So now that we have learned what is EQ, why is it important in our life? So if we lack in EQ, what can be the consequences of it? So next we will learn about how do we develop EQ if we do not have yet. So the first point here would be practicing self-awareness. And how would you do that? So to practice self-awareness, you can reflect on your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors regularly. Keep a journal or a diary to track your emotional patterns and triggers. Pay attention to how your emotions influence your decisions and interactions with others. Work on self-regulation can be another factor in developing EQ, wherein you learn to recognize and manage your emotions effectively. Practice techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or meditation to stay calm under pressure. Develop healthy coping strategies for dealing with stress and adversities. You learn to next would be to learn how to cultivate empathy in your day-to-day life. Practice active listening and try to see situations from others' perspectives. Ask open-ended questions to understand others' feelings and experiences better. Show compassion and empathy towards others even in difficult situations. Then you can also work on improving your social skills, which would be working on your communication skills, both verbal and non-verbal. Practice assertiveness, build positive attitude and effective conflict resolution techniques. Build strong relationships by showing genuine interest in others and maintaining open lines of communication. Seek feedback from your friends, your family, or your peers. Ask for feedback from trusted friends, colleagues about your emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. Be open to constructive criticism and use it as an opportunity for growth and self improvement. Then, practicing emotional regulation in real life situations. Applying your self regulation skills in everyday situations such as during conversations, meetings, or stressful events. Pause and think before reacting impulsively and choose your responses thoughtfully. You can also have continuous learning and growth to help you build your emotional intelligence. You can read some books, articles, take courses on emotional intelligence and related topics, attend some workshops, seminars on communication, empathy, and interpersonal skills. Surround yourself with people who exhibit high emotional intelligence and learn from their behaviors and habits. Set personal goals and monitor the progress. Set specific, measurable goals for improving your emotional intelligence. Regularly assess your progress and adjust your strategies as needed. Celebrate your successes and knowledge in the areas where you still have room for improvement. Do not set the goals realistically too high that obviously you would be tired of achieving them. You would feel like, oh, I'm not able to achieve that goal. Set small goals, but so that once you achieved a smaller goal, go for the bigger goal then. So if you take the smallest steps, obviously you would be able to build different skills, not just EQ, technical skills, any interpersonal skill in a longer way. So, by practicing these steps consistently, you can develop and enhance your emotional intelligence, leading to improved relationships, better decision making, and greater overall well being. So, this was it from me on emotional intelligence, the importance of it in the leadership, your daily corporate life. Yeah. Any questions?
In leadership roles, empathy is also seen as negative because if we get down into the other shoes, compassion would be a better thing. What is your opinion? Because if we empathize with the other person, it is said that we will feel the same negativity.
No.
In empathy, if we are going into somebody's shoes and we are feeling the emotions that the other person is going through, emotional intelligence is fine. But if we are getting into the other shoes, we'll go through the same kind of emotion.
So that is what is empathy is. That is what is emotional intelligence is, to maintain a positive outlook or positive attitude throughout your life. So even if you're stepping into some other person's shoes or understanding their situation, you're not letting that affect yourself. You are like, okay, this person has fever, he cannot come to work today. The smallest example. ओके यू वुड अंडरस्टैंड ओके मेरे को भी फीवर होता है मैं भी काम पे नहीं जा पाता कोई बात नहीं तो वी हैव अ टीम वी कैन वर्क टुगेदर एंड गिव दिस पर्सन अ डे ऑफ
My thing is, my question is, isn't it called compassion? That you have the compassion with that person, not empathy.
No, so if you that is how you build your EQ, to always have a positive attitude or a positive outlook to different situations. You don't let your mental health or negativity surround you.
Because there's one author, I don't remember the name, he has written a book on this anti-empathy.
Anti-empathy, great.
So he has researched a lot. He's a US, I think Yale professor who has written a book on it, anti-empathy.
Okay, I haven't gone through it. I'll do that.
Insights on that.
Great, thanks for the feedback. I'll go through it. I haven't still gone through it. Yeah, anti-empathy. Do you know the name of the author?
I'll certainly.
Sure, I'll go through it, obviously. Yeah. If there is something that I can learn from here or obviously with interacting you people, so that would be helpful. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
How do you measure the emotional intelligence in the potential leader that you hire as a talent acquisition?
Okay. So if we are hiring someone, let's say on a leadership role for a director, associate director, or a head of a certain function, so the technical skills obviously they are important. For example, if we are hiring for a head of sales and marketing, how well they have excelled in their previous tenure, what are their marketing skills like, what are their sales skills like, what has been their year-on-year revenue that they helped achieve in the previous organizations. So those skills we evaluate during the round 1 or round 2 of discussions. We are able to help there, but during the final discussions, the round 3, round 4, round 5 that go, we usually, this is a live example that I'm giving you. So we go out, take these people for breakfast or lunch, see how they respond to different situations. So the founders would be there, and other people would be there. See, evaluate how they're responding to different situations. If we ask them difficult questions out of blue on how to handle the team, or if they're given a conflicting situation, so what is the approach that they would follow? So that is how we measure their EQ. So if that is what we have inbuilt within the company's culture or the environment, would this person be a good fit? Or if this person would be like, no, I'll be thinking about myself first and then the team. So this would be a negative thing for us. So this is something that we'll not go ahead with. So this person has to be a people's person first, and then maybe on a role that we would want them to be. We can hire a person who has lesser skills or has achieved lesser results, but would be a people's person, because to achieve results, maybe we can bring in some other person to help this person in achieving the results or the revenue that would want from this person. But for the overall growth, to maintain the complete function, to maintain a team, you build a team of 150, 200 people, this person has to be on the floor, seeing through different people, read through the lines, understand the dynamics on the floor. Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi.
I want to know, in your professional experience, have you come across any standardized test to measure EQ? Because how would a student know that in EQ, specifically this area I lack, which needs improvement?
Okay. So, like for IQ, you obviously have various tests on Google. You can go and practice that. They have logical reasoning, linguistic abilities, mathematical skills you can evaluate. However, for EQ, there are few tests that have come up. They are random tests, but there is no certain standard test for EQ. It all depends on how good of a team player you are. How do you respond to people around you? How do you handle stress? How do you handle conflicts? If someone has come to you for help, seeking for help, or what is your reaction to those situations, or how calm of a person are you? So that is where EQ comes into the picture. So there are no standard tests. It's day-to-day routine. You may ask your friends, your peers, your family, your parents, like, okay, this situation has happened. How did I respond to it? Do you think I was calm in this situation? Was I able to navigate my way through that situation in a calming or a mature way? Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Timcy, your insights have been really helpful and really educational. Personally, I think that I have gained a lot about my emotional, where I stand in my emotional basis on self-awareness, self-management. So I think every one of us has learned something out of it. Really? We have learned something out of it, right? So I think it'll be really helpful, the self-management, self-awareness, and where they personally would be in the future. So really, it was a really insightful session. Thank you, ma'am.